إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وأصحابه وسلم وبعد. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد إن أصدق الحديث كلام الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
أدعو كل الله أدعو كل ويكاتي كفان أبو محمد. We are grateful to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we seek the blessings of Allah upon our noble Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, upon his household, upon his companions, and all those that are following the guidance of Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam till the last day. Today being the 12th day of Ramadan, 1445 years after the hijrah of our noble Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam from Mecca to Medina, which is equivalent to the 23rd day of the month of March 2024. We'll continue bi'idhnillahi ta'ala with the commentary on Suratu-Yusuf. So last week we stopped at the second verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Allah is saying إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون. So there we explain the fact that Allah revealed the Quran in Arabic language, and that if the Quran is translated to other language, then it becomes a translated Quran, but not the actual Quran. So the actual Quran will remain the one we have in Arabic. So, and we also explain a lot of things that have to do with that, especially the fact that the Quran is meant for our understanding. So it is clear and it's clarified to us. So then also there's the question of the fact that was it not because the people that were living around the place where the Quran was revealed were Arabs. That was why the Quran was revealed in Arabic. So that is, I don't think those people would have been in some other regions speaking some other languages, then it will have been in those other languages as well. Which said yes, that was a very important reason for revelation of the Quran in Arabic. But then it wasn't just a coincidence for the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has chosen to reveal the Quran in, the most eloquent language. So the fact that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was raised from among the Arabs is a reason, but also the fact that Arabic language itself is a very rich language, and in fact, it is arguably the most or the richest language, most eloquent language we can think of. In the sense, like when we go into the literature of Arabic, a lot of things we find in Arabic, so they cannot be found in other languages. So, and that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Quran in Arabic such that, the wordings will be clear. There will be no any form of ambiguity. Then, if it will have been in some other languages, then perhaps there will be a lot of ambiguities, like we can see today. The various scriptures revealed before the Quran, that we still have nowadays, purposely because they have not been preserved in their original languages. So we have so many contradictions, even apart from the fact that most of all those books, if not all of them, have been perverted, have been abrogated, a lot of things have been added to them by men. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that if Adebisi will have revealed the Quran in other than Arabic, وَلَوْ جَعَلْنَاهُ قُرْآنًا أَعْجَمِيًّا, if the Quran would have been revealed in other language than Arabic, لَقَالُوا, so the people will have, say that لَوْلَا فُصِّلَتْ آيَاتُ, I didn't mean the verses of this Quran have been made clear, then it would have been better. But it is not clear, it is ambiguous. So then Allah reveals the Quran in Arabic so that any form of ambiguity will not be there. So it will be clear. And that is even, what we explained earlier in the fourth verse, that the Quran is Al-Kitab al-Mubin. It's a clear book and it clarifies things. So, Ajamiyya wa Arabi. So whether it is in, Arabic or other language, so most important thing is it is a guidance for the believers. So, but for the non-believers, it's as if their ears will have been covered with an obstacle, and their sight will have been blinded, such that they will not be able to see the light. So at the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, in the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a guide. So Allah has made him to be a guide. So in fact, Quran is revealed in Arabic, of course, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was raised from among the Arabs. Just like the tradition of all other books, Allah will not raise a prophet, a messenger, except that it will be in the hands of the people, from where that prophet or messenger is raised. But at the same time, also, because Arabic is one of the most, if not the most, in fact, if not the most. So I'm saying if not the most, because of the point by one of our elders that it is quite difficult for us to judge, because we are not polyglot. So, but then among the languages that we know, even though some of us are polyglot as well, but then among the languages of the world, what we know is quite minute. So, but then among the languages that we know, in fact, one of the languages that we know that is also very rich is mother tongue. Yoruba language is also a very rich language. So in some aspects, and in fact in so many aspects as well, but still compared to Arabic, the difference is clear. So the difference is clear. It's only in Arabic that we find all those things that we find in that language. In most other languages, they cannot be found. I think many times in our weekly classes, we have identified different aspects of Arabic language that you cannot find in other languages. So that's the point. Wallahu ta'ala alam. So today, Allah ta'ala, we're going to start from the verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. نعم بسم الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين. إذ قال يوسف لأبيه يا أبت إني رأيت 11 كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين. قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مضل. وكذلك يجتبيك ربك ويعلمك من تأويل الأحاديث ويتم نعمته عليك وعلى آل يعقوب كما أتمها على أبويك من قبل إبراهيم وإسحاق إن ربك عليم حكيم. لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين. لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. I actually wanted you to descend with the two because we are not stopping. It's okay. So, Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. Like we explained earlier that this chapter will be telling us about the interesting story of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam, and that we have the introductory parts to the story, we have the body, and we have the conclusion of the story. So today we'll go to the body of the story, and like I also stated the body of the story of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam as narrated in the Quran is it can be divided into 6 different scenes. So the way we are going to take it is Allah Ta'ala, we try to be taking it scene by scene, so that at the scene by scene, so that at the end of the day we'll be able to cover as much as we can, because this is a very long chapter of the Quran. So since part of the introduction, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ. That's we are the one that are recounting the best accounts, the best narration, the best stories to you. We are the one narrating the best form of accounts to you. So, لِمَا أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ, with what we have revealed unto you of this book, this noble book, the Quran. وَإِن كُنْتَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ, even though before the revelation of this Quran, you were لَمِنَ الْغَافِلِينَ, one of those that were unaware of those stories. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ أَحْسَنَ الْقَصَصِ, that we are the one narrating the best form of story to you. So, and this is the story of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, like we mentioned earlier. So there are a lot of stories in the Quran, but indeed the story of Nabiullah Yusuf is called the best stories because the best story, because of the different lessons, contains the different lessons we have in the story of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and also the comprehensiveness of the stories compared to other stories of the Quran. And also even in the previous chapter, just before this, we have stories of different Prophet of Allah. But here in this story, we have that of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam comprehensively. So Allah called this story the best story, and like that we go into the body of the story, we are going to still see that it is indeed a best story. All other stories that we have in the Quran are definitely interesting story, best story, good stories. But then that of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam is the best among the best. Is the best among the best. So Allah said, "Bima awhayna ilayka hadha al-Quran," with what we have revealed unto you of this Quran. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not know about the story of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam before the revelation of the Quran. So it is when Allah revealed the Quran, that is when the story is made known to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that is why at the end Allah is saying, وَإِن كُنْتَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِ, because even though you, before the revelation of this Quran, you were unaware of the story of Nabiullah Yusuf. Indeed, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unaware of the story of Nabiullah Yusuf before the revelation of the Quran. So this word, that is mentioned here, sometimes it used to be a word that the non-believers, the Orientalists, create confusion with that, because sometimes when we say ghafla, it can mean foolishness. It can mean a kind of stupidity or something. A kind of negative implication. But it is not always in that direction. It also means a state where one is not aware of something. A state of unknown also is contained here. So what this word is referring to is that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not aware of the story of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam before the revelation of the Quran. And like we have mentioned earlier, one of the reasons, one of the asbab al-nuzul of this chapter, in fact of this particular verse, is that some group of the companions came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to ask that, "Oh Prophet, we want to know about the story of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam." Then Allah narrated the story comprehensively with the revelation of Suratu-Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, the surah of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So also one of the purpose of revelation, like we have said earlier, is that Umar passed by someone that is from Bani Qurayza and that is also from among people of the book, and that's not a story from among the stories of the previous prophet to Umar, which Umar brought to the Prophet and told the Prophet that, yes, I got this from a brother, from the people of the book. So can I read this? Then the Prophet got angry that, no, when you have the Quran, how are you going to depend on this? So all these are telling us the fact that before the revelation of the Quran, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not aware of the story of the Prophet of Allah, especially that of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And we know that the Prophet was not literate. So how could it have known the story of all those previous prophets, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala narrated the story to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this will be a kind of the completion of the introduction part of the story. However, the concept of the qudsu that we are recounting and the cause of fear, which is the story, actually Scholars say this word itself comes from a word qasr, which could mean to bring different parts of something to, like a kind of harmonize different parts of something together. And it could also mean to trace the step of something. So that is why scholars will always say that this story is ahsan al-qasas, the best story, in the sense that it is, giving a kind of sequentially how the events occur, and the most important part of the stories are mentioned. So we see that there are some part of the story, obviously, it is not about all the life of Nabi Yusuf that we have here. There are some things that are not mentioned here, and those are the things that are not important. But the important points are those points that we have mentioned. And of course, studying, from the scripture of the previous generation, there are some of the things that are contained in the story of Yusuf. So in the Israeliyat, in the story of the previous generation, we are not going to go into details of those, because those ones we cannot authenticate. Whatever we have in the Quran is perfectly authentic. There is nothing like in fact, it will be understatement to feel it is 100% authentic, because there is not any form of, any form of contradiction there, any form of omission there, any form of, lie whatsoever in the Quran. So everything we have there is perfect. There is nothing that is left untouched there. So the story is like a kind of recounting the step of Nabi Yusuf, just like the word is mentioned in Suratu-Yusuf, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying about Nabi Yusuf, فَارْتَدَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَصَصَ or something like that. So they trace back their step. So tracing step will also mean, cause. So the story is narrated in such a way that it is like recounting the step, the life history of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continued by saying, now going into the body of the story, and this is the first scene. The first scene. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِذْ قَالَ Yusuf. Allah says, إِذْ قَالَ Yusuf. When Yusuf, that is Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, إِذْ قَالَ Yusuf لِأَبِيهِ. When Yusuf told his father, when Yusuf said to his father, Ya Abat, oh my father, oh my father. In Arabic, when we use this Abat, it's a kind of dear father, a kind of showing affection to the father. This is different from just Abu, or just when you say Abi, you say Abati. It's different from when you say Abi. Abati will mean like you are referring to dear father with affection. So this is a very high level of love between a child and the father and the parents generally. So if Qala Yusuf li Abi, when Yusuf told his father, Ya Abat, oh my father, inni ra'aytu ahada ashara kawkaba, I dreamed, and in my dream I saw ahada ashara kawkaba. We all know ahad, one, ashara, we know 10. So when I saw in my dream 11 stars. Yusuf was telling the father like that I dreamed, and my dream I saw 11 stars. Was chance. I also saw the sun. Well, color, I also saw the moon. So, and I do not just see all of them like that. But all of them prostrating to me. I saw in my dream that all these things, 11 stars, the sun, the moon, I saw them prostrating to me. So this was my dream. So Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was narrating his dream to his father. The first lesson we have to take from here is that this dream itself is one of the signs of prophethood of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. Just like it is reported from our noble prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam that from among the signs of prophethood is dreaming. And it is not just ordinary dreaming, the dream that will come true. So the dream of the messengers of Allah, of the prophets of Allah, are always wahy. When they dream, that dream will come true exactly the way it is dreamt. So, of course, when we say exactly the way it is dreamt, it means the interpretation of that dream will be realized. There is no doubt about that for the messengers or the prophets of Allah. Alayhi salatu wasalam. So the Yusuf here, narrated his dream to his father that I saw 11 stars. I saw the sun, I saw the moon prostrating to me. So scholars mention that these 11 stars implies the brothers of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was having 11 brothers. Himself inclusive 12 of them were the children of Nabiullah Yaqeen alayhi salatu wasalam. So he has 10, brothers from another mother and a brother from his own mother. A brother from his own mother. So that means you have a brother that they are completely blood brothers from the same father, from the same mother. But the other 10 are from the same father, but not from the same mother. Even though a lot of scholars, explain even the closeness of, the ties of kinship between even the mother of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and the mother of the other children as well. So we are not going to go into detail of that, like I said, because that is not mentioned specifically in the Quran. But after the Asha or Kankaba here means the 11 brothers of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam was Shams. So scholars interpreted the Shams here as either the father or the mother of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, was common and also covered as either the father or the mother. So that is either that Shams is the father and Al-Qamar here is the mother, or Al-Qamar is the father and the Shams here is the mother. Whatever order you take it. So what we know for sure is we have the 11 brothers of Yusuf, we have the father, and we have the mother. So of course, in terms of whether Shams here is the father or Al-Qamar is the father, is a point of discussions among scholars. So Yusuf is now saying that I saw these things prostrating to me. I saw them prostrating to me in my dream. So this is the dream of Nabiullah Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, which is the theme of the first scene. That is Yusuf narrating the story, the dream to his father. Now, dream generally, we have to take note of something here, and that is dream generally. Dream generally can be of 3 types as explained by scholars. We have the dream that is Ar-Rahmani, dream that is Rahmani, the one that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those are good dreams. So the dreams that are good are those dreams that are directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the interpretation of that dream will be directly realized. It will be, realized. One will achieve whatever one has dreamed about, and as long as that dream is the dream that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So those are the different good dreams that we dream. So all those are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is important authentically to have said that when any one of you dream about good things, let him narrate it to the one he loves. So if one dreams of something good, then it is expected that you only narrate it to the person that you love, not just anyone, not just announcing, anyhow, not just taking it to social media. So that was why I was saying that the other time, that perhaps, the Tafseer will go into that direction also. So when we just have the good dream, it is not meant to just, be telling everyone that, yes, I dreamt about this, that only the loved ones. So, because they are the ones that will pray for the realization of that good thing. So, that's the first part. That is the kind of the dream that Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam dreamt here. So, we have the second category of the dream, and that is Al-Rasu Ahlam. Those are the kind of nightmares. So, those are also forms of dream, and they can be divided into 2 types according to scholars. We have the one that is not seen. It is a form of dream, but it has to do with one's soul. For example, one is overthinking, overboard about something. So by the time you sleep, you are going to dream in relation to that. That is just dream, that is not seen. So that is not the one that is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that will be realized. So and also there is the one that is shaitan, the dream that is from shaitan. So those are the dreams, the bad dreams. Those are the exact nightmares that people have in their journey. So that is the one that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying that when any one of you has a nightmare, so let him not narrate it to anyone. Let him just speak to his left side 3 times, and he should seek the safeguard of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, isti'adah. He should seek protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan, and perhaps we can change, his posture. That is, if he's sitting, if he's sleeping with, left side, it should be changed to right side immediately after the dream. And if one is even having, capability, one should try to perform ablution and observe 2 rak'ah if one is having a nightmare. So those are the 3 categories of, dreams that we are having. But that of the messengers of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, their dreams are always, dreams from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that will be their life. So, at the end of, the time, according to some hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, most of the dream will be coming true. And that is because, the revelation of scriptures, the time of the sending of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is getting far away from people, as we know that after our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there will be no any prophet again. So that means for us now, we are living 1,000. This is this year is 1,445 years after the hijrah of our noble Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, meaning that the Prophet left this world now is over 430 years. Is over 1,430 years ago. So we cannot compare our situation with the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that lived with him. We cannot compare our situation with the successors of the companions of the Prophet that lived after him. So like that. So as time is passing by, we are getting away from, the revelation. So, and that is why at the end of the world, most of the dream will be coming true. And especially that will be in compensation, for the revelation that was given to those close to the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because at the time, they have revelation directly. They don't need any dream. But for us now, the revelation is still the same revelation. So whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to, like a kind of give information, inspiration, a kind of inspiration, that's the exact word, to the believers, then it will be in form of, good deeds from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah continues by saying, then the father responding in the same manner as in which the son addressed the father, others, oh my dear father. Then the father is also responding, oh my dear son also. So it is expected that as parents, when our children are showing signs of affections to us, then we are expected to reciprocate, the affection to the children as well. So you are coming from outside, and your children, they run in order to welcome you. Then you should not just start flying your face. You should also take them away. That is not the way. You also embrace them as they are coming. So that is supposed to be the tradition. In fact, the tradition of greeting is when someone greets you with taslim, assalamu alaikum, you have to respond in, the best, the one that is better than that, or at least the one that is equal to that. When someone says assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, then you are expected to also say assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, or you say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Make yours better, or at least let it be equal to the manner in which the person is, initiating the greeting. So when our kids, our family, they are embracing, they are coming to welcome us, in happiness, in exhilaration, we should also embrace them in a manner that is even better. It is always good when your child is running in order to just welcome you. Carry the child, pet the child. This is a rahmah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We know the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was taking his grandsons, and one companion, a villager came and said, so are you taking them? I have like 10 of this kind of children. I have never taught any of them before. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah will not be merciful to the one that is not being merciful to people. So embracing children with happiness, show happiness towards children is a form of, being merciful to them. And that will also bring mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the one that is doing that. So Yaqub, the father of Yusuf, is responding to Yusuf in the same good manner, just further, then he's also saying, oh, my dear son also. Then this is now the advice, the response to the narrated dream. لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك. Don't narrate your dream. The dream that you narrate to me, don't narrate it to your brothers. Don't narrate your dream to your brother. So this is in line with what I've just mentioned earlier, that the good dreams are expected to be told to the loved ones, not just not just anyone, anyhow. So Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam was, warning Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam that la taqsusu ru'yaka ala ikhwatik. Don't narrate your dream to your brothers. In terms of closeness, when you have a child, we talk about the father, we talk about the mother. They are so close to the child. Then the brothers, then the sisters, outsiders, friends, or cousins, niece, nephew, or what have you. They cannot be close. They are not ordinarily. They are not expected. It is possible that ordinarily they are not expected to be closer to someone than his immediate brothers. Immediate brothers are expected to be the closest, even though it is not always the case all the time. But what's supposed to be ordinarily, the nature is supposed to be that they will be, the closest. So, but Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam was warning Yusuf that don't narrate your dream to your brothers. This is an admonition to Yusuf, but an admonition that is still applicable up to the moment. There are some of us, whenever any good thing or even the sign of good thing just happen to us like this, the first thing we are going to do is to put it on Facebook, is to put it on Twitter, is to put it on TikTok, is to put it on Instagram, is to put it on WhatsApp. Yeah, on WhatsApp also. Even though that of WhatsApp, you can only keep it as status. It's not only that you change that. So, whatever. So this is not the best way. This is not the best way. You are not expected to always advertise everything. Just immediately you put. This is not the best way. Going by, the admonition of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam to YouTube. They like that admonition. Why? And he said, for if you narrate it to them, they are going to conspire against you. They are going to conspire against you. There will be a conspiracy. Because Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam understood the dream that the 11 stars mean the brothers as sons were covered with the father and the mother, he himself and the wife. So it's not really usual not to narrate that to the brothers. For if that will happen, they will plot against him. So the king will not against that. So that is what used to be the case to me and here today. To when good things, we see the signs of good things. We keep telling people, you don't know the one that is happy with that. You don't know the one that is not happy with that. Then something that is not yet achieved, you start advertising. Then the one that is not happy about it, that will bring about envy. That will bring about jealous. And if care is not taken, that which you are expected to achieve will not be achieved. That will not be achieved. That will not be achieved. Because ordinarily Shaitan, what he wants is, he does not even want you with mood. And that is why this verse is ending with in the Shaitan. Verily, Shaitan, the inside to humans, are doing one mubin, is an open enemy. Is an open enemy to humans. So in the first case, Shaitan does not want any success for human. So now you are not giving Shaitan opportunity, to prevent to prevent that success. Don't do that. Don't do that. We see that the major problem that led to even the destruction of Shaitan is what? Envy. Envy. Why? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, all of you, I'm going to give you, I'm going to create a being, in the earth surface. And they said, oh Allah, both the angels and the Shaitan himself, That oh Allah, why are you going to create those people, as mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, that will be spilling their blood, they will vitiate the land and all this and all that. I want to know, I know what you do not know. Then Allah called Adam alayhi salatu wasalam after his creation for examination, that start mentioning names of things. He started mentioning names of this, of that. Even though the angels and Shaitan were also asked the same questions to do, they could not. Then after, when Adam alayhi salam did what they could not, Allah asked them to prostrate for Adam. Then out of envy, out of pompousness, Shaitan refused. All of the angels prostrated except who? Except Shaitan. For us to know that refusal to prostrate is not just as a result of pompousness alone, not as a result of arrogance alone, but also as a result of envy. He mentioned, as Allah said even in the Quran, that you created him from sand and created from fire, meaning that I am better. I am better off. That is envy. I am better than him. So this is envy. Now that is actually what even led to the destruction of Shaitan. So you always want to use that as an instrument to prevent success. And that is why Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam was really useful. That other person say, don't narrate your dream to your brothers. If you do, they are going to conspire against you. The very Shaitan to human is an open enemy. Is an open enemy. Now, like I mentioned here, this is an important lesson for us, especially those of us that we have a kind of basket mouth. Basket mouth means our mouth is not, it cannot keep secrets whatsoever. We have to beware that is a disease, and that disease can lead to destruction. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ. But for the favor of your Lord, for the blessings of your Lord, you narrate. But that does not mean that all the time you just keep announcing everything. No, that's not what it means. Scholars have explained this. Scholars explain that is after the realization of the blessing. A lot of scholars explain this, that is after the realization of blessing. In fact, a lot of scholars explain that this verse means that blessing which Allah has given you, it means you should that for this that you narrate it to people here means that you should appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with it. And appreciation here means that you do what Allah wants with it. Like Allah bless you with wealth. It does not mean that you should start announcing to people that I'm blessed with wealth and I'm the richest in the world. No, what it means is you do for that for the Lord. You do a lot of good things with that. You make your family happy with what Allah has blessed you with. So not that you do a lot of good deeds for people as a result of that. Not that you keep announcing to people. Anyway, all of us know today, when you are rich, Alhamdulillah, this is Korea, secure. In back to our respective countries, if you are blessed with a certain wealth, and you keep announcing to people that I have so amount of money, but I kept it in my home, perhaps the next day. Maybe you will not even witness the next day. You will be cool. The money, the wealth will be taken away from you. You don't know this. So when we now have to, announcing everything, this only means that we should appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And also, there is a particular hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even though scholars differ about it, but this hadith is authenticated by Sheikh Muhammad Nasir bin al-Albani and some other scholars. So, and that is the hadith of Mu'adh bin Jabal, radiallahu anhu, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said that that you assist, you help qada al-hawaij bi al-kitman. You assist realization of your needs by keeping them secret. When you need something, when you want to achieve something, you protect, you help the realization of that by keeping it secret. Then the Prophet said, فَإِنَّ كُلَّ ذِي نِعْمَةٍ مَحْسُودٌ. For everyone that is blessed with a blessing is envy. Is envy. When Allah blessed you with something, don't expect that that's only a blessing of Allah that no one will envy you. People will envy you as a result. So because of that, before you realize that, when you are making the plan, you try to keep it secret as much as you can. Not just announcing. Not just making it open, such that at the end of the day, it will not be realized. So, in short, when there are good achievements, when there are good things, even if we are going to narrate, like it is mentioned in the case of you, we also narrate to those people that are the loved ones. So if you do not know the loved ones, then better to keep it within yourself. But when you know the loved ones, you narrate that they are the people that will pray for you. And to us also, whenever someone is, keeping, whenever someone is narrating blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us, whenever someone is entrusting us with that trust of, narrating a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to us, what we are expected to do is to pray for the person that Allah blesses that blessing. That barakallahu fiik. May Allah bless you. May Allah barakallahu fiik. May Allah bless that blessing. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, we say this. Even if envy is envy is trying to come as a result of this prayer, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to prevent that. So when someone keeps a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with us, what we are expected to do is we pray for that blessing. So by the time someone tells you something and you refuse to pray, you say, okay, it's good. Just is good enough. Then there is problem. Much is good. So barakallahu fiik. Barakallahu fiik. Allahumma barik fiik. And all this kind of statements. Allah bless it. Not just is good. Wow. Wow.
Awesome.
What's wrong? What is wrong? That wow that you are saying, you're going to invite, that wow that you are saying, you're going to invite, a problem, shaitan. It's not an invite problem. So, and that is why it is very important that when we are narrating blessings of Allah, we narrate it to those people that are the loved ones. And we should know that, as explained by scholars, this is when it has been realized. When it is still in the process, then better to keep it. Better to keep it secret. However, even if you are going to narrate it to anyone, make sure the one you are narrating it to is a loved one to you. Then when people now trust you as a loved one as well, and narrate a blessing of Allah to you, then you do what? You also blessing, you bless the blessing of Allah. That means you pray for Allah to bless that blessing the more. Not just say, wow, not just say, really, or good, or all this kind of, explanation that we do is we make whenever someone who, narrate a zikr to us. So we should be aware of this. Allah assist us. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues by saying, وَكَذَلِكَ يَجْتَبِيكَ رَبُّكَ. That is how, that is still the statement of Yaqeen alayhi salatu wa salam, that is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to choose you. That is how your Lord is going to choose you. وَيُعَلِّمُكَ مِنْ تَأْوِيلِ الْأَحَادِيثِ. And Allah is going to teach you the narration of dreams, narration of situations, narration of matters, that when there is a difficult situation, Allah will teach you, the exact layout of that situation. When there is a dream, Allah will teach you the exact way, of that dream. Allah is going to teach you that. Allah is going to choose you in the sense that He is going to make you a prophet. So Yaqub is already telling you so this, that as a result of this you're doing is a kind of affirmation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to choose you as a prophet of Allah. Allah is going to choose you as a prophet of Allah. Then and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to perfect His blessings on you. Allah is going to perfect His blessings on you. Which blessing? That is the blessing of this world and that of the hereafter. So the blessing of this world, Allah will perfect it for Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam, and also the blessing of hereafter as a result of the fact that he will be made a prophet of Allah. So then he said, Kama, that blessing will be wa'ala and also on the descendants of Nabi Allah Yaqub. That is how Allah is going to perfect His blessings on you and on the descendants of Yaqub as a result of the perfection of Allah's blessings on you. That will also be an implication, to the perfection of the blessings of Allah on the descendants of Yaqub. Just like Allah perfected His blessings on your two forefathers, before you, the two forefathers before. Who are those two forefathers? Ibrahim. Nabi Allah is Ibrahim. Alayhi salatu wasalam. What were the blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on Nabi Allah Ibrahim? He was a prophet of Allah. He was a messenger of Allah. Not just a messenger of Allah, but Khalilullah, the highest level. In whatever highest level you are classifying, people in this world, Nabi Allah alayhi salatu wasalam, Ibrahim will always be there. When you are talking about prophet, he's there. When you are talking about messengers, he's there. When you are talking about Ulul Azm, Muslims, he's there. Then when you are talking about Khalilullah, only two of them, himself and Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, is also among. That is a blessing perfected on Nabi Ibrahim. Then Ishaq and Nabi Ishaq, who happened to be the child of Ibrahim. How is his blessing perfected? He's also a prophet of Allah and also a son to the prophet of Allah. You see the blessing, the prophet of Allah and also a son to the prophet of Allah and also a father to the prophet of Allah. And also a brother to the prophet of Allah. A lot of blessings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not saying, Allah is all knowing and Allah is all wise. He knows about what is going to happen. And Allah's wisdom is on everything that is going to happen. So you do not need to worry yourself. Whatever is in the knowledge of Allah will definitely come true. It will come true. Whatever Allah has destined will come true. Allah knows about it. His wisdom is there. Allah knows the reason why He planned things like that. So you need not to worry. All you need to do is to keep to the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So for all of us, we should know that the promise of Allah is true. Whatever Allah has destined for us will be. So we need not to worry about our destiny. All we need to worry about is how are we going to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that we will end hereafter. But for this world, whatever is destined to happen will definitely happen. And nothing will happen outside the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing will happen outside the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Nabi Yaqub alayhi salatu wa salam was telling Yusuf about this. And the brothers, he was warning Yusuf about the brothers. So this is also something that is noteworthy here. That the fact that we have brothers, or the fact that we are brothers, does not mean that automatically there will be no envy among us. Still, Shaitan can do that. So we have to be very, very careful so that Shaitan will not use any of us as an instrument, for the destruction of another person. Because that indirectly also leads to our own destruction. The brothers of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam are the one that the father was, telling him to beware of, not to narrate his dream to. Even though it is still some other things happen, which we are going to see in the next scene within the Lari Ta'ala. But just to make it briefly because of time, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very very there are ones in Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam wa ikhwatihi and also his brother signs. There are a lot of signs there for the ones that care to ask. The one that care to ask are the lot of signs to see in Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam, in the brothers of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam. Even just in this first scene, imagine the message that we have there. Right? When we now go into the next scenes, we see a lot of wonders. In the life history of Nabi Yusuf alayhi salatu wa salam, in the life history of his relation with his brothers. So, it is very important that we take this story with all level of seriousness so that we be able to have the best, of understanding of the lessons therein. Because this is ahsan qasas, best story that anyone can think of. This is different from the story that we find in movies. This is different from stories written by just anyone. These are not stories that are fictitious. This is something that happened exactly the way it is, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala narrated it. So if we care to know, then we have to reason into the story of Nabi Yusuf as we'll be mentioning subsequently, ta'ala. So, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the perfect understanding of this chapter and all other chapters of the Quran. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that is capable of doing that. So, I think time is all right. So, ta'ala, we are going to stop here today. So, I'm sorry, I have to cut a lot of things because the chapter is long and the time we are having is very short. So, otherwise, we will not be able to get to even the end of the fourth page before the end of Ramadan. This case is not taken. So, we try to take it, like this. Allah bless all of us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.